beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I'm back with my second Beebeecraft.com video for the month of April. So if you had seen my haul video at the beginning of the month, I shared some products that they had sent me to kind of share with you guys. One of those being this mix of semi-precious stone cabochons. And one of the questions I had gotten or suggestions was from one of my longtime viewers, Pat. Hey Pat. And she said that she wanted to see me bead around one of the little heart-shaped cabochons right here. So that got me thinking, and of course right away I wanted to start playing with these, and I did. I made these couple of cabochons right here. They are brand new designs that I just kind of came up with on the fly as I was beading, but I thought it would be a great tutorial to share with you guys if you have some irregularly shaped cabochons in your stash, or if you're interested in checking out this product on Beebeecraft.com. So today I will be showing you how to bead around one of those little heart cabochons. I will have the timestamp down below if you want to skip right to the beading. Otherwise, I'd like to explain a little bit more about the materials. This was a really great collection sent to me by Beebeecraft. It's about $13 right now on their website. It does fluctuate back and forth between US shipping and China shipping, so if you're in the US, you'll probably want to wait for it to come back into the US warehouse to get free shipping. Otherwise, you may have to pay for that. However, there's 24 pieces in here, and I shared on the haul video more in detail and gave you a closer look at all these pieces if you're interested in that. But I did the measuring, and I found that this heart cabochon, by the way, this is a blue goldstone, seems to be about 15 by 18 millimeters, so here it is. You're also going to need some beading thread. I love to use 6-pound Fireline. This is my go-to. This is the color Crystal. I get it in 300 yards because I do a ton of beading, but they also have it in smaller quantities. Again, links to everything I use will be down below. This is something I just get on Amazon. I also have two different sizes of seed beads. These are 11/0 seed beads and 15/0. You will need two sizes to do this particular technique that I'm going to show you today. I have two different colors of silver. This one is called nickel and this one is called aluminum. I am going to use two different colors just because I think it gives some extra interest when beading around a cabochon. And other than that, you're going to need your beading needle and of course some scissors. So I'm going to be putting on about 6 feet of this Fireline onto my needle. And by the way, before I forget, you can use the code GINA 2019 GINA 2019 to get $5 off your purchase of $40 or more from Beebeecraft.com, so definitely check that out. I will have that code down below as well if you need to refer to that later. It doesn't expire till the end of 2019, so you have plenty of time to use that. They have all sorts of jewelry making and craft type items on their site, and then free shipping over $25 on items that they carry in their US warehouse. So go ahead and string your thread on your needle. Pick out your colors of seed beads. I'm using Toho brand seed beads, but any good quality brand seed bead will do. You want to make sure they are pretty uniform. So if you do have the option, go for your nicer, more expensive seed beads, such as Toho or Miyuki if possible. So this technique is going to be for the 15 by 18 heart that I have in my hand, like I said. However, the principles of this are going to be the same no matter what kind of cabochon you're beading around. So the first thing you need to do is determine how many 11/0 seed beads strung on your thread will go around the width of your cabochon one time. And you want to measure that around about the center of your cabochon. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. You may have to do a little bit of trial and error. I certainly do all the time. But it will cinch up as you go, as you add your 15/0s. That's why the 15/0s are so important, because as you add layers of the stitch, it's going to cinch up around the cabochon and hold it in place. So I know through trial and error of spending several hours making these beaded cabochons that I'm going to need 36 11/0 seed beads to go around this particular size. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and string those on. I'm going to set my 15/0s aside at the moment just so I have these in front of me to use. I'm going to set the cabochon aside too because we're really not going to need that yet until we've done several rows. And what we're doing is we're basically going to be creating a loop. So I'm going to string on 36, like I said, because I know that to be the right amount to go around this heart. Okay, so I have 21. I need to string on 15 more. Okay, and I'm leaving about a 6-inch tail here to start, and I'm going to double check my count because I have been known to make mistakes. Alright, so that's 3611 seed beads on the thread, and we want to be mindful of keeping a tail thread, so just keep that about 6 inches just so you can weave that back through. And what you want to do at this point is you want to make a knot, so go ahead and make a knot to turn this into a loop of seed beads. So it can be a little frustrating at first. Take your time because sometimes the beads want to slip up into that knot. Happens to the best of us. And I just did a little double knot there so that it's secure. Your other option with this is just to put a needle on your tail thread and weave it around if you don't want to make a knot, but I find for this particular application I'm fine with making a knot. Something else I'm going to do for purposes of this tutorial is I went ahead and I put another needle on the tail end of my thread, and I'm just going to go ahead and weave this back through a time or two, because I want to get it out of the way, especially for the tutorial. It will just make things a lot less confusing. You may want to go ahead and do this if you don't want it in your way, or you can wait till you've built up several rows of beads before you do it. But as you can see, I'm just going through the beads again, through the loop, just to get the tail thread out of our way, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Alright, now that our tail's tucked in, we're going to go ahead and continue with peyote stitch. So we're going to be dropping in a bead in between every other bead. So from this point, my thread is coming out right here out of a bead on this ring. So go ahead and pick up one more of your 11-ohs, and instead of going right through the very next bead, skip over that bead and go through the one after that. And as you pull, it's going to pop that bead over top the other one just like that. Let's pick up another 11-oh seed bead. And again, we're coming out of this bead right here. We're going to skip over this one and go through the next one. Just like that. And you're going to continue in this manner all the way around this ring. So you skip over the next one and go through the following bead. And what you'll find is it starts to look like this with a little bead that's sticking up every so often. So skip over, go through the next one. Pick up a bead, skip over, go through the next one. And just keep pulling it as tight as you can as you go around within reason. So we're just continuing that peyote all the way around. So what I think I'm going to do for this video is just show you how to bead around the cabochon initially, and then I'll try to follow up with some alternate endings so you can see how to make different designs like the ones here by starting out the same exact way. Okay, and I'm going to add the last one for this row, and to do that we need to step up. So like we normally would, we're skipping over the next one right here, and we're going to go through the following bead right here. So that's normal, but now we need to step up so that we can continue on making more rows. So I'm coming out of this bead right here, and we're just going to go directly above and diagonal into that bead that's sticking out right over top of it. So now we're coming out of one of the beads that is on this outer row. We're going to continue on in the same fashion, popping in an 11-oh in between all of these gaps that you see. So go ahead and pick up another 11-oh and go through the next bead that's sticking up there on the edge. And as you pull, you're going to notice that this ring starts to kind of cave in on itself, and that's normal. That's what you want, because you're creating that shape that is going to hold your cabochon in place. So keep going all the way around, adding in one bead in between each of those beads on the outer edge that's sticking out. And I just started putting it on my finger because it's easier for me to hold it that way, but we're just finishing up this outer side, so let me pick up another 11-0, pop it through this one, and you can see as you pull, it's starting to create this kind of a ring effect, where the stitches are starting to get stacked up on each other. So I'm coming out of this one right here, and just like we did the last time, we're going to add our little bead in between this little gap, and I'm just going to go right on through that next bead on that top row to step up. Here we go. And now we're in place to start another row. So before we start our next row, I just wanted to show you, I did go ahead and pop the little cabochon in there just to give you an idea of the kind of fit you're looking for. So this is kind of how you want it to look, where it will just go around the cabochon without too many gaps. For now, we're going to go ahead and do one more row of 11-0, just like we did before. So I'm already coming out of this top row right here. Go ahead and do another row, popping an 11-0 in between all of those spaces. I'm going to speed it up and then we'll meet back. Alright, so we're at the end of this row, and again we're ready to step up, so I'm just going to go through the next bead I would normally go through, and then I'm going to go up through the one that is diagonally situated right on that outer edge. And carefully pull, pop that last bead into place, and that's what we have so far. And now we're ready to grab our size 15-0 seed beads and start doing the same thing, but with that size. So we're going to be popping in a 15-0 into each one of those little gaps below. So go ahead and get those out. Alright, so I'm coming out of this bead right here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a 15-0 tiny little seed bead and go through the next bead that is sticking out like that. You're going to let that pop right into place. There you can see it. It's just a slightly different color right in there. Then you're going to pick up another one, continue on just like you'd been doing. Go ahead and go through one of those other beads that is sticking out. And then just keep going around just like you did before to complete the entire edge just like that, and you'll see it's going to start to cinch up. Okay, and now step up just like you normally would, this time through the 11-0 and then through the 15-0 that you get to that is on that outer edge. There we go, and let's do another row of 15-0s. It's going to cinch together even more, and we're going to pop one in between each of these 15-0s on the outer edge. So coming out of that one right there, I'm skipping over the 11-0 and going through the next 15-0, just popping in another one of those little beads right in there. So continue all the way around again in the same manner. Alright, so we've reached the end of this row. I'm going to go through the 15-0 that is right here, and then I'm going to step up by going through the little 15-0 that we get to next that is on the very edge. Going right through there. And we've got this little cup shape starting to form. Do you see that? Got a little cup shape. So that's what we want. And you can see why I used two different colors of seed beads, because it kind of gives it a little bit of a contrast. It's just a little bit more interesting. What you can do at this point is you can pop this over your cabochon and just get an idea for yourself how you like it. Do you want another row of beads on the interior that's going to cover up more of the cabochon? Do you think that your cabochon feels like it would be secure once you have the back beaded up? I'm feeling good about this size. I'm going to leave it at this, especially as it cinches up even a little bit more. You can see the little dip in the heart is at this point, and we're going to address that after we finish the beading on the back. We'll go back and we'll do a little point to make this heart shape just a little bit more exaggerated. Otherwise, it can tend to just look a little bit round. So if you're happy with the number of rows you have, you can go ahead and work your way to the back of your beading so that you can finish that up. And you're going to finish this up the same way you did the front by adding some more rows of 15 O's that's going to cinch it around the back. So no need to keep your cabochon in it at this point. You can go ahead and take it out. You just kind of want to get a gauge for your sizing as you go, especially if you're doing one that's a little bit differently sized than I am. You're going to follow your thread path through the beads just to get to this other side, which is going to be the back of your piece. So I'm just going down through some more of these beads to get to the other side, gently going through and following the thread path so that it won't even be visible. If you can go through multiple beads at a time, go for it. If not, just go through one at a time. I go through these two here and it's going to put me where I want to be. So depending on the depth of your cabochon, you'll want to evaluate whether you want to add another row of 11 O's on here to make it a little wider, or if you're ready to go right into the 15 O's. Since this one isn't very big, I'm just going to go ahead and start in with the 15 O's again. So again, on the back side of it, I'm just going to be adding in a 15 O in between these 11 O's to make a complete row like that, and then I'm going to follow through by making one more row of 15 O's just to cinch it together even more. So just like we were doing on the front side, continue on with that peyote stitch. On the back, just use your 15 O's when you're ready to get your beading to cinch up just a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm going to step up through the 11 O and through this 15 O. And now I'm going to pop my cabochon in, because at this point we might want to just go ahead and put that in and start cinching everything around it. So get it situated how you want it. There, so just get it to sit in there as evenly as you possibly can. It's not going to be perfect, but as you keep beading, it's going to situate itself more evenly and you can keep playing with it too. So I'm coming out of this 15 O here. We're going to make one more row of peyote around the back with our 15 O's. So let's do it. So this is where you want to make sure you really start to kind of shape everything how you want it, and you get your beads positioned around your cabochon to the best of your ability so that everything is even. I'm just making sure that when I look at it from the front, it's starting to come together how I want it to look, which is just like that. And we are going to add our little peak, so don't worry, we'll go back and do that. We're going to do one more row of 15 O's and really tighten those up, and then we'll talk about finishing the back. So as you do this last row of 15 O's, try to hold this together with your thumb and your forefinger as best you can so it's not sliding around too much, because this is where you really want to focus on trying to get it to stay where it is and to be anchored in position by these beads. There's different ways to finish off the back of a beaded bezel like this, but the main goal is just to keep decreasing the size of these rings as you go around, which will just keep your cabochon all the more secure inside and not allow it to pop out, and will keep it in place. I'm coming out of one of these outer beads right here. We're going to pick up another 15-0 seed bead, and this time, instead of going through the next 15-0 that's sticking out, we're going to go through the next two 15-0s. So this is going to start to cinch everything together in a pretty simple way. So you see that we're actually going to be going through the next two 15-0s that are sticking out and popping that seed bead right in there. And we're going to follow this pattern all the way around. So pick up another 15-0 and then go through the next two 15-0s that are sticking out. Pick up another 15-0 and go through the next two 15-0s that are sticking out. And try to pull as tightly as you can while you do that. Okay, so we picked up another one, and we'll go through these two. Just continue with this pattern all the way around. Okay, and we're at our last one, so I'm going to go through these next two, and then we'll do a step up and evaluate where we are. Alright, so I'm personally happy with how the back of this looks. I don't feel like the cabochon is going to go anywhere. You can get as ornate or as simple as you like. This one is just me continuing to go around and around in a slightly different manner. And this one is just solidly beaded on the back. So there's all different things you can do, but in the end it is the back of the piece, so when it's worn it's not really going to be seen, so don't get too carried away. But for purposes of simplicity, we're going to leave this just like that and bead our way back to the front of the piece. Here's what the front looks like again, and then we're going to exaggerate the little peak right here to make it look even more like a heart. Alright, so I'm just making my way up the side of this piece, and I'm going through the 11-0s mainly just because the holes on those are a little bit bigger. It's just a little bit easier to get into those beads. And you're going to want to get to the point where you are coming out of one of these little 15-0s right here to the side of the center one. I've got it situated right now, so this little center 15-0 is situated right where the heart dips down right there. So you can feel free to kind of twist this and turn it a little bit in order to get one of those 15-0s centered in that way. So I'm just going to keep going. And like I said, I want to come out of one of those 15-0s on either side of that. So I'm going to go over this way. So just work your way down. If you have to do one bead at a time, that's okay. Going through these 15-0s can be a little bit tight sometimes. Alright, so this is the one I want to have on the center. I'm just going to go down through that 15-0 there to the right of it. And we're going to be popping in a 15-0 in between these and a 15-0 in between these two beads. So pick up one 15-0. And then go through what will be the center of that little peak you're going to create. Pick up one more 15-0 and go through the next 15-0 that's sticking out. And you can see that it's created this little peak. We're going to continue on and start working our needle back toward those 11-0s again, making sure everything's cinched up really nice. And we're going to go back around one more time to add one more little 15-0 right here to finish the peak. So follow your thread path so that your thread is not seen, and you're going to head back around to get yourself in position where you can add on that little 15-0 there in the center. And that puts me in the position to add my last little bead, which will finish off our peak. There we go, see that? So now we're going to weave back to the 11-0s so that this can tighten up just a little bit. And there's our heart shape. So again, I'm just going to weave back through here. and make my way over to the side. And that is our cabochon beaded. So from this point you have a lot of different possibilities, almost endless options when it comes to beading around this. I'm going to get you started with a good jumping off point, but we are pretty much almost done with this technique of beading around in a regular shape. So at this point I'm going to work my way toward the middle row on the side. So you see how some of these rows have 3 beads going across and some have 2. I want to work my way over to one that has 3 beads going across, and I want to come out of one of the center beads. So I'm going to come out of this center bead right here, and then we're going to do one final thing in this video, and that is pop in an 11-0 in a peyote fashion all the way around, which is a great jumping off point. Okay, so working with our 11-0s again, we're coming out of this middle bead, and we're going to pick up another 11-0, and then skip over to the next row of 3 right there and go through the middle bead and do it again. So pick up a bead, an 11-0, and skip over to the next row of 3 and go through the middle bead. And you're going to do this all the way around. You can see how it's creating this new design on the side where you have a bead sticking out every so often, which will then help you in the process of coming up with new ways to bead around your cabochon. So just go ahead and finish this, go all the way around doing the same thing, adding an 11-0, going through the center bead of the row of 3. And there you go. So by doing that, you have a great jumping off point for adding extra beads around the cabochon. So this is where I would start playing around. I added some little glass pearls on this one in between those 11-0 seed beads, for example, and then I played around with creating a little beaded bail right there that I could put chain through. On this one, I experimented with using some 2-hole beads, and I actually attached those all the way around and anchored them to the 11-0 seed beads. So there's all different possibilities with this initial design, so I hope it helped you to understand at least how to go about beading around in a regular shaped cabochon, especially if it's a heart, and how to add a little peak like that to it to really give it that heart-shaped look. So what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to bring you some alternate endings to this design where I will share with you how I made either of these or perhaps something totally different by getting started with this and then embellishing it further. So I want to thank you guys so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you watching. Please feel free to leave me a comment or question down below. If you enjoy my tutorials and would like to help me to keep them coming to you, or you're looking for a way to show your support, feel free to check me out on patreon.com. The link is down below for that. I did open up a brand new tier at $25 where if you'd like to support me in that way, one of the benefits is that I will send you a bag of beads from my stash every single month that you support, and the spots on that are limited and are filling up. So if you're interested, definitely check that out, and you can check out all the different tiers that start at just $1. Also check out down below for links to the materials used in this tutorial and a complete list of what you'll need. If you'd like to shop at Beebeecraft, don't forget to use that code Gina 2019 to save yourself $5 off a $40 purchase. And other than that, I hope to see you guys again real soon on my next video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give it a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. Check out the information section under the video for links to my social media handles and other helpful info, and feel free to check out my shop at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching!